Careful, friend. Reckon there might be a few loose raptidons wandering around. You know that Auntie's Choice ain't liable for raptidon-based injuries when there's a war on.
Whoa, Val. Watch where you're pointing that shooter of yours. You've been pitching a little unevenly.
Since the fastball incident of '97, automechs are not permitted to participate in tossball games, leagues, or tournaments.
I mean, your aim's been off. Wouldn't want me or the good commander here catching any strays.
When attempting to capture a stray animal, approach slowly and quietly. If the animal senses danger, it may grow aggressive.
Know what? Forget I said anything. You're doing great.
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded.
I may be deluded, but you're lucky you ain't dead. seeing how she seems partial to using her friends as victims.
Does she? It occurs to me that you have provided no proof of what you're accusing her of.
Why don't you take a long look at me? This is all because she betrayed us, her team, her friends, even the one whose life she saved in Triangulum.
By the architect. You're Niles, aren't you? She mentioned you a few times, but refused to elaborate. All I knew was that she was fond of you, and that you were dead.
She was fond of me? Then why? Why would she try to kill me?
I can't say, but it may be one of the things she anguished over. An anguish I fear finally overwhelmed her, and could likely be what's driven her to her present course of action. I wish I knew. It's nothing good, I can tell you that. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. Just a religion driven by algorithms, maths, predictions of the future. They believe they will eventually solve the universal equation and know everything, rid humanity of uncertainty. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. We became friends when she... Well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries's identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
Been noticing a lot of screws going missing of late on board the ship. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No missing fastener reports have been filed with this unit.
Let me rephrase. Have you been collecting screws for some reason?
Affirmative. Multiple replacement screws have been collected in accordance with pending work order from Agent Ibarra. I must have a screw loose.
It's a figure of speech, Val.
No, Jackson, don't!
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Oh, law, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. Dying, actually. Dying in a fairly slow, agonizing manner. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts. What? It's your duty as a subject to...
No, Liza, remember, you're not Protectorate anymore. So, what have we talked about? A duties only.
Discharged if the disbursement is dutifully deserving. Right. Sorry, I'm just a little flummoxed by being stranded up here.
So, bits, stranger. We'll give you bits if you get us down before we starve. Poor Jackson wasn't raised in the Protectorate with a mind for science, and mistakenly thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So he jumped the opposite way I told him. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they can give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault.
Thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. crop of Brachythecium retabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste. You're by our crop of Brachythecium retabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest. But to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell.
I'd say welcome back, but I reckon a clinic's likely the last place any of us would choose if we had the choice. If you're here for the doc, hope you ain't in any kind of hurry. Wait's still on the long side of short. Surely do. Keeping it on the inside's the trouble. Aw, heck, but I shouldn't complain. Others have it worse than me. Eden's former tenants sure aren't making it easy for us to move in.
I must ask you to hold still. I'm rather amazed. How did you manage to formulate coagulant with only a handful of ingredients? Oh. Well, yes, obviously that was going to be the next thing I tried. In any case, I hate being in debt to anyone, so here, something for your trouble. It's your lucky day, Trooper. Not only has our good Samaritan here suggested an alternate form of treatment that will allow you to keep your leg, but they've also made a coagulant that will greatly reduce any complications as I excavate the tibia shrapnel from your remaining muscle.
That still sounds kinda painful.
I'm going to administer a localized anesthetic. You'll hardly feel a thing. Now, if you don't like needles, I'd advise you to look away.
Hello again. Hope you ain't here for yourself. Much obliged. That feels night and day better already. Protectorate forces won't know what hit them once I'm back in the field. Thanks again, friend.
People think I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Well, maybe I am drunk. Drunk on bold ideas.
Yeah, been gone a while. How'd it go? Tell me you got good news. Why, that's terrible. But you said you have the schematics? I'll take those. What? Sovereign's finest potato corollary peeler? This was supposed to be a guaranteed bestseller. Who in their right mind would... Jackson, you idiot! Ah! It's a good thing he's dead, because if he wasn't, I'd kill him! There's no... God damn it! I'm never getting that promotion. This was supposed to be my easy path to a promotion. Must be something I can do to salvage this. Tell me, did you come across any other advanced protectorate technology while you were there? Anything more, well, easily marketable? If I only had something, anything else to provide management, my sad, sorry fate might have been somehow averted. Well, here's all I can spare in regards to your compensation.
Try not to spend it all in one place. It's supposed to be categorically bad for commerce. In the unlikely event things somehow pan out and I get that big promotion, I'll see you're taken care of. Until then, take care.
This launcher ain't going to fix itself. Is that right? Truth is, maybe I could use some help. But if you mention this conversation to anyone, I will deny it ever took place. I'll be over there if you need me. Way over there. Should clear the blast radius at that distance. All right, so you got her working. Bully for you. No, sorry, you're right. You did me, and all of Fairfield, a good turn here. Just thought I'd feel more relieved when the launcher was working again. There's just this weight in my chest won't loosen. Worry gunking up my inner workings. Protectorate could launch an attack from that Vox station anytime. What if the mines aren't enough? Why do you think I was so twisted up about the launcher? I know I can be brusque. The word unpleasant's also been bandied about before. Yeah, I'm a real piece of work. Maybe that's why we worked well together. Here, managed to cobble some frags together from a damaged mine earlier. Who knows? Might get you out of a pinch one of these days. And seeing how expertly you worked, you may as well take this armor modification too. I'm sure you'll have an easier time installing it than I would.
Why do you corporate folks do all the hard work instead of letting auto mechanicals do it?
Because we get paid to do it. We need the money so we can buy things.
Okay. Then once you buy the things you want, why do you keep working?
So we can make more money and buy more.
You're back. Why? Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? It doesn't? I know a slew of folks missing pieces of themselves who disagree. All because they weren't bright enough to mind their own business when they clearly should have. So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? Well, I've got a lot left to do and not much time left to do it in, so you can show yourself out. You're back. Why? Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? Nah, it's only a crime if you get caught. And you only get caught if you cause enough trouble that excessive corporate malfeasance has no choice but to haul you in. So long as you respect their boundaries, keep the right palms greased, and apply a bit of discretion, it's easy enough to do just about anything you need done. But since the original crew we sent here couldn't handle those 3 simple rules, it does so happen I have an opening for a well-paid accomplice. Interested? I'm part of Sub Rosa. We're a group of merchants, information brokers, and commodity traders who deal outside the systems most folk are confined by. We're the best way to get things done in anti-space if you're looking for profit. Want to buy it, sell it, move it? We've got someone to do it for you. Well, isn't that just wonderful? I had no suspicion when you walked through my door that you'd help resolve the last of the morass Paradise Island has become for us. And all we need you to do is access Quartermaster Cardos's terminal and scrub any Spectrum vodka from her ledgers. It's already been resold, so having it in her system could become problematic. Expunge it, and I get you some bits, and the friendship of Sub Rosa all over the system. You get me? It'll probably be nothing. She's just a sergeant, not someone who has any real pull. And I've already made arrangements with everyone who matters. So, if she catches you, about the worst she can do is a switch on the rest. Because we are the black market in Arcadia. Odds are, at some point, you're going to need something you just can't get legally. Then you'll be thrilled we're associated. Sub Rosa feeds that appetite to not just survive, but to thrive. And that's taking all of us places. We're more than simple opportunists. We are opportunistically driven. Trust me, For both short-term benefits and long-term prospects, you want to be our friend. And I'll be waiting here with your bits.
I suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples. I forget. You invaders are not raised on the same diet of knowledge as we in the Protectorate. How small your uneducated mind must be. Trapped in worthless superstition. Perhaps you should have brought that friend with you. It was unwise to come alone. Of course, I know why you're really here. You have come to exact retribution for our larceny at your greenhouse. The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. I am merely quivering with rage over this insulting interrogation, and that scent you so subtly pointed out is the aroma of noble effort. Foreign to you, I'm sure.
Thought I saw you disappear in here. Oh. Seems I've stumbled into quite the shindig. You lot been hiding out in here all this time? Touch cramped, ain't it?
Please, stay. It would please me to end the lives of 2 invaders as opposed to 1.
Not very copacetic, are you folks?
If this exchange is not to your liking, I can accommodate you with a bullet instead. And if I deny your assessment? Ordinarily, I would feel confident about having the superior number. But as you pointed out, our condition is rather deleterious at the moment. Very well. With so many invaders yet to slay, I would be remiss to relinquish our lives in such an unworthy duel. We surrender. For now.
That was some slick talking. Can't believe you got them to surrender without firing a shot. I thought for sure we'd have to blast our way out of here. Guess I had this mystery all wrong. A small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. I appreciate that. Never really talked about the direction of my thoughts on this topic with no one before. Wow, it's like I'm lighter. Thank you for everything. Truly.
Spacer's Ale. Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what ails you.
Business is always good when a war's on. What do you need this time? Those hoople heads. First they botched their work up here, now the Grove. If there were medals for incompetence, they'd be well decorated. Well, I thank you for helping them out. Sorry you had to go out of your way. Now there's an odd request. If you've got queries about my stock, I'm sure I could answer them for you. Wait one rat-gone moment. Did Miss Galloway put you up to this? She asked me for terminal access not even a fortnight ago. I'd call it coincidence if it didn't feel so much like conspiracy. I can't for the life of me adduce a reason as to why a greenhouse manager would be interested in military inventory. What kind of plants are we growing in there? I'm not sure why she didn't just tell me that in the first place. Well, we don't want an infiltrator exploiting any of our systems. Go ahead and do what you gotta. Key card to access the terminals, right here on the boxes beside me. Feel free to nab it.
Hello again. You get that inventory issue sorted? How grand. That officially mops up the last of the mess from the buffoons that came before me. And, as promised, my good fortune is also your good fortune. And while this might be a tad fewer bits than you were hoping for, remember, you've also made allies that you'll find all across Arcadia. Just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle near the middle. Like the one you passed on your way in. Find that rose, and you find Sub Rosa.
You know, I'm really starting to feel hopeful about settling here in Fairfield.
Why settle? You can thrive.
Or
swear that terminal deducted years from my life.
Not everyone's cut out for life in an anti-encampment. It's intense, but only 3 to attend, and we sleep in shifts. Cot's comfy enough once the adrenotime burns off.
Give the order, and I'll take care of it, Commander.
Confronting threat. Neutralizing unfriendlies.
Seems nowhere on Paradise Island's going untouched by this war. Seeing Zeb again went different than I expected. Not that I had high hopes for tears and confetti, but damn. Don't you think I know that? Maybe I ought to apologize straight away. But I'm not convinced I did the wrong thing, leaving. Had I stayed, who knows? Likely I'd have gotten us both killed. That's fair. Might have left him a note or something. I was just worried I'd lose my nerve, but you have a point. Wasn't right of me to just up and split. Anyway, I appreciate the check-in, Commander. Was there anything else you needed? Sure. Always happy to tool around for a bit. What did you have in mind? I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day of the week.
Ain't as tough as you thought. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed. Damn idiot. You want to die? Be my guest. I ain't gonna be around to save you. No. You ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. That obvious, huh? Yeah, I was hoping there'd be something worth harvesting. Something worth the trouble of killing the poor creature. But hope is the father of disappointment. If the occasion calls for it. But I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and Raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Huh. I heard there were some survivors still holed up over there. I can understand them looking for help, though how this place could provide that? I ain't claiming to know. I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice, former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. So long as you don't impede my work or break the stalemate we got on this island, I think we'll get along all right. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My graft, needs some bolstering. But if the wraps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Sorry. Guess I'm just used to folks staring real hard and then steering clear. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies. And I wasn't always with Auntie's choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Go on now. There's probably plenty of Protectorate info waiting to be scooped up if you're keen. Just mind the wraps. I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to see about my contract. Law knows I could use a lucky break.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's choice.
Entering a confrontational state.
Look at a few corpse low, Commander.
Great. Cursor on the wall.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community, purpose, time for recreation. We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful.
There must be at least a few usable parts in here. Aha! Hello there. You wouldn't happen to have found any usable parts in all this debris? Westport's stockpiles of replacement parts are nearly depleted. I need to find some parts to convert some of our automechanicals, non-combat parts. Fortunately, there's nothing here that's salvageable. Auntie's bombs sure take their toll, don't they? Let's just say to fill Westport's needs. If you follow the road heading north, you can't miss it. Used to be a sight to behold, but the war hasn't been kind to it. To any of us. True enough. A few years ago, I couldn't have imagined us running short of anything. And now here I am, digging through scrap for parts. But I digress. Was there anything else? Need to get back to my hunt, you understand? Unless I missed my guess, this looks like it was transporting damaged and malfunctioning automechs from the Vox station to the Automech Repair Center to the south of here. The center is... Say, you don't work for Antes, do you? This is beginning to feel more than a little like you're digging for intelligence. Fair enough. As I was saying, the Automech Repair Center is south of here. Regrettably, subjects of Westport no longer have access to the repair center, hence my need to scavenge. Yes and no. The bomb certainly took a fierce toll, but I suspect these were all in various states of disrepair even before Andy's offensive, which has made sorting out where to begin my efforts here rather difficult. There should be a manifest somewhere, but it's nowhere to be found. Nor are the troopers who should have been escorting this. Where are their bodies? These were stalwart defenders of the Protectorate we're talking about here. Not the spineless stumblewits that comprise the forces of Anti's choice. No. Some other unfortunate fate has befallen them. Could have been any manner of terror brought upon us by Antis. Likewise. And please inform me if you happen upon any usable parts. There must be at least a few usable parts in here. Aha! Ah, it's warped. Just like everything else.